Welcome to another episode of Straight Out of Camera, where I talk about some of my custom Fujifilm simulation recipes. The recipe I'm talking about today I call Echo Chrome. It's a great walk-around recipe for your X-T1 or any X-Series camera for that matter. Just like with some of my other recipes I've created the past month and a half, I created this on my X-T1. But anything I create on my X-T1 can be used and modified on any of the cameras released afterward. I try to have a specific reason for creating each one of these recipes. Sometimes I'm just experimenting and land on a look that I really like. But a lot of times I'm inspired by photographs that have really connected with me, or I'm inspired by a movie look and I try to recreate it as close as possible. Just like with my 1979 look, it was more a general look and style and not one specific film stock, not one specific image that was inspiring to me. Recently, I've read a few comments of people talking about the white balance setting of some of these recipes. Most of the recipes I've created have a preset white balance setting. I do this because I think that setting is one of the big reasons why some of these looks connect with people. But the problem is, if you take those recipes with a preset white balance setting into a situation where they really weren't designed for, sometimes you get cool results and sometimes you just get frustrated because now you have to find a different recipe that maybe fits that scenario better. So one of my main purposes for creating Echo Chrome was to create a everyday walk around type recipe or film stock simulation that could be used in a variety of lighting situations. So unlike the other settings I've created, this has no preset white balance. It's auto white balance, and the other settings create the look. Like I've said many times, I don't create any of these to mimic a specific film stock. I always mimic looks and vibes and whatnot. I listened to those comments from people who were having issue with some preset white balance settings, and I wanted to create a more color neutral option for them. I'm going to create a few, but this Echo Chrome is the first of that. So when I started playing around, the first decision I always make when creating a recipe is deciding which base film simulation to build upon. And in this situation, I decided to go with PRO Negative Standard, or PRO Neg Standard. Both PRO Neg Standard and PRO Neg High are simulations built into these X-Series cameras that I kind of have overlooked since owning these cameras. I usually land on Classic Chrome or some of the black and white settings, or maybe Velvia. But lately I've been playing around with these PRO Neg settings and realizing that they're really solid choices. The PRO Neg Standard is what I built this recipe on. You'll notice a lot of similarities between this and my SKYLIGHT setting, but those key differences make these two recipes unique and give them a distinct look. This might be the most versatile recipe I've created so far. There's definitely a place for set white balance settings. There's a place for color cast and tints, but I avoided that with this recipe. This is intended to give you a solid foundation to create some cool images straight out of camera. This recipe has some hints of some classic film characteristics, but should work in all kinds of lighting situations and on almost all X-Series cameras. Program Echo Chrome into one of your custom settings and use it as your walk-around recipe, or as your walk-around film stock, so to speak. Give it a try and let me know what you think, and if you do try it out, I'd love to see some photo samples. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate all the feedback and all the subscribers, and I'll talk to you soon.